Hey guys, so for this week's discussion, since my last name does start with a D, my set of questions are the first question is discuss an area where you might be uncertain about your position in an ethical dilemma with a client, and be sure to specify the NOHS ethical standard in the dilemma. I'm going to use the standard two from the ethical standards, which is at the beginning of the helping relationship, a human service professional must obtain informed consent for services from clients. Clients should be informed that they may withdraw consent at any time and can ask questions before agreeing to services. Clients who are unable to give consent should have those who are legally responsible for them review an informed consent statement and document provide appropriate consent in the case of mandated services. Human service professionals explain to clients the right to consent, including limitations to confidentiality and privacy, and possible consequences from service refusal. This all relates and resonates with me as a few years ago, I did an internship at a homelessness prevention nonprofit, and I would observe that there would be many ethical dilemmas and informed consent contradictions, I would say, where this nonprofit would give informed consent to their clients. Um, but how I would see it is that they would use clients' stories as a way to storytell to our our donors at the time. So it would be really unethical storytelling. It would be really traumatizing and sharing really sad stories and experiences our clients had went through. And the caseworkers and social media team would ask for clients' consent and they would approve and they would course the clients into sharing these stories, which I thought was they didn't realize how I think it's just ethically wrong to have a client share a such a vulnerable experience in their life to gain money for the nonprofit. Um, this experience made me really it made me realize how ethically wrong many nonprofits run their um donation practices, and it's so so yeah, with that being said, that was my experience of seeing something happen like that where I thought, wait, that's wrong. We can't ask our clients who have shared such vulnerable and traumatizing experiences to profit off of them just so we can get big donations from our donors. But this is a very common and popular strategy and practice you will see in the nonprofit world. Um, and this is what really got me not to want to return and work with nonprofits that operate in such a way. But yes, the point of this little story is because I really felt connected in chapter 8 with the example that the authors used an intern who encountered unethical practices during her internship, finding herself in situations outside her scope and practice. She struggled to determine the right course of action until she consulted with her school supervisor for guidance. And I had a very different but related experience during my own internship where I observed clients being coerced by the agency. Recognizing this as an ethical dilemma highlighted the importance of Standard 2 of the Code of Ethics regarding informed consent. I wanted to also add that this is related to Standard 2 because it has to do with informed consent. How, yes, the agency did um, do the right steps into achieving informed consent from their clients in storytelling the client's story. However, I don't think they were being completely honest that they would share this story to profit money into to get donations, and I just something about that doesn't sit right with me. Um yeah, there was one instance that a mom had shared a really traumatizing story. A client who was a mother of three, they were living in our homeless shelter at the nonprofit, and the story was just so heartbreaking and sad. And I just felt like, wow, we shouldn't be sharing such stories that are so intimate and vulnerable at our galas, at our fundraising events. It just felt wrong to me. And I felt that at the time, if I had known, I would have brought this up to my internship supervisor. Um, I never did because I was a sociology major and we didn't have a code of ethics such as human service program. But now that I know about the code of ethics and how to navigate this in a better way, I would definitely bring this up to a supervisor. I would professionally, I think I have now more the courage and confidence to professionally confront um the nonprofit. I mean, but it's just that is challenging within itself because you can lose your placement and then just that's challenging. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up of how that connects with standards too, and how I was uncertain about my position at the time with that ethical dilemma with the clients. And moving forward, if I were to be placed working for a nonprofit and I saw this happening, I definitely would advocate for ethical practices to be taken when storytelling a client's journey and experience, that it's an ethical and and we're telling all the details to the client, like, hey, we're gonna share your story to the public. It's not like in private, like we're just gonna have a meeting with one donor. It's like being honest with them and transparent what we're going to do with this story, which I think is important. So, yes.